What's up, guys? BlueHellTV here. Seamus here with Ian, Christian, and Austin, and today we'll be coming to you with some news about the MLS draft, homegrown player signings, potential transfer, and Ike Opara's international debut with the United States.
Oh yeah, let's get into it.
All right, let's start with the MLS draft.
Yep. Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Well, first round, 13th pick, we drafted a goalkeeper out of Butler, Eric Dick.
I mean, he's a good keeper. He had a great career. I mean, like, All-American, Big East Goalie of the Year. Like, he's a good pick, but did we need him?
I don't think we did.
Well, he was the guy that the organization wanted. We were going to trade up for him, and even after the draft, we received an offer for him right after. And Sporting KC has no intention on moving him, so.
We have no intention of moving him now, but, we have Melia. Yeah. Nobody's arguing that he's starting.
Oh, yeah.
And then Dijkstra and Zendejas, great backups.
Yeah.
Great season at Swope Park. They're, like I said, good backups. So Eric Dick potentially could be a great keeper down the road. He's got potential. He could also be a good bargaining piece.
Yeah,
that's true.
So.
That could be why we picked him up.
Also, do we send Eric Dick this year to Swope Park? Maybe release one of the other two, and then one of those guys becomes a backup, or one of the guys becomes a backup to him at Swope Park.
Yeah.
I know Sporting, what I've read, they're big on, they see infinite upside on this guy.
He's 6'5". He's massive.
Huge frame. Can get down pretty well. He started all 4 years at Butler in the Big East, great conference.
His last year, he had 9 shutouts out of their 14 wins. They had played 20 games, but still 9 shutouts is...
And 28 shutouts throughout his career.
Yeah.
So, good keeper.
He has huge upside.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, I like what you said, though. Maybe get rid of one of the other keepers. Or, it'd be tough for Sporting or Swope to go in and say, hey, we just brought in this guy straight out of college. You're going to be his backup, even though you had a good season last year. That's going to be tough to say.
But
it's a business.
Yeah, I mean, if he's good enough, it doesn't matter, does it?
I mean, and it brings competition, too. We talked about the transfers and bringing in competition, and this brings competition, and that's always a good thing. So.
And this year, like we said last podcast, we got multiple things again. We got U.S. Open Cup, regular season, CONCACAF Champions League.
We're going to need numbers.
He's a body. He's a body.
We're going to have, if you guys remember, CONCACAF Champions League, we don't always come with our first team. We come with the second team with a couple starters in there.
Yeah.
Normally a keeper is a guy that we throw in there. I mean, Kempin started before for us.
That's true.
Kronberg. We've had guys that aren't, like, the top keeper. It wasn't the Jimmy Nielsen or the Timmy Melia, but it's going to be another guy. And I think that Eric Dick might get some minutes this year, but I think he'll be a Swope Park guy.
I'd like to see him develop.
Yeah,
see where he is just next year even. Or halfway through the season, just see where he gets.
And if he can develop quickly, could Melia be used to trade for another player?
Yeah.
I know
That's true.
I like him too much to get rid of him.
People love Melia, but...
Oh, you're the Sporting KC manager, are you?
I'm making a decision.
But if you got a good player out of him, I mean, he's getting older.
That's true.
Melia got hurt.
Melia did get injured.
And we already have a great defense, too. So it's kind of just like...
This all relies on Eric Dick living up to the hype, though.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we're talking about all this now, like, we'll trade Melia. Well, what if, what if he turns out to...
What if 4 years
He's still a couple years behind. He still needs time to develop.
Speaking of the hype, he did have 28 shutouts, 9 his senior year. He gave up almost a goal a game, though, in college, which you're going to a higher level. Yeah. I know your defense and your whole team's not as good in college, but more opportunities to score goals. You're playing against better people. But if you're giving up 1 goal a game, I don't know how many saves you're making a game, but
one goal a game.
It's different when some college kids coming at you than Giovinco or Giovanni Sanchez. I mean,
world-class players.
They'll score if you give up that 1 goal. They could easily. I mean, so we'll have to see. He'll develop, hopefully.
We'll see on him.
We'll probably have more news later in the year.
Staying in the first round. 2 first-round picks.
Graham Smith. Pick 18.
Center back.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see, I just have not seen a lot on him. Don't know a lot about him.
No.
All I know is
he transferred Oregon State to Denver.
and he started every game of his college career, which
is
even just like as a freshman getting in there, just getting used to the pace of the game.
That's true.
Getting into the mentality that, oh, this is like your job now. That's tough for a lot of people to do. He jumped in, seemed to get it right away. Maybe that's a sign.
Could be.
And he's big too. He's at 6'2", 6'3", and he's physical too. And he's really good in the air. I saw some highlights on him. He's good in the air. So.
And he helped the University of Denver to their first men's college cup appearance in school history. So I mean, anytime you're part of a team that can do something that no one's ever been able to do, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, very true.
For sure.
We want to go on to the next pick?
Yep.
We didn't have any picks in the second or third round, and we moved to Will Bagru, forward, round 4, pick 6. Saw a little of him.
Just from the get-go, he was up for, I think he actually won, like whichever conference he was, Southern Conference.
Southern Conference.
Southern Conference.
Right?
Yeah, Southern Conference Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
That's pretty big coming in freshman year, having that big of an impact, and then later on, he was up for Male Athlete of the Year.
I saw that.
Impressive. I mean, an athlete to say the least.
And we watched a couple of his highlights and stuff. He helped his team to wins over like teams like South Carolina and who was the other one? Another one of those schools in South Carolina.
Coastal, maybe. Or something.
Yeah, a couple great teams, teams, and for a Fordham, I mean that's pretty big. If you're beating a top 25 team and you're scoring to beat them, I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but teammates with Matt Lewis.
That is
also
true.
played at Fordham.
Yep. Well, next pick we got was Wilfred Williams in the 4th round, pick 13. He's defender.
Yeah, defender.
Didn't see much about him.
Do not see anything about him.
Try to look up as much as we can.
Guessing fullback, considering he's 5'7".
Yeah.
That would be a very small.
Let's hope he's pacey.
Or he can jump really
high. Or he's just jacked.
Boom.
But I don't know if we see any of these guys.
No,
not really. Breaking the first team.
I was going back through the MLS drafts. And, Sporting did get some great players out of the drafts.
Early, a long time.
Early, rare. The thing is, we got, 13 to 15 good players out of it, but that's out of nearly 150 picks.
That's true.
10% of the players turn into something decent. That's it's not great for the MLS draft, which... I mean, MLS draft
I'm not a fan of any.
It's a dumb idea. It's a dumb idea.
Another draft, we lose Latif Blessing in the expansion draft. There's just
draft just doesn't exist anywhere else.
No,
it's just a bad idea for the MLS, especially where it's where the MLS is at right now in terms of rankings. Like, draft is not helping its case.
No, we need to move on to more of a development. That's more of a discussion of U.S.
That's a long term.
And an MLS. I mean, we'll take what we get. I mean, not take what we get, but we'll analyze the MLS right now and Sporting Kansas City. All right. Second thing we want to talk about is potential transfer. Johnny Russell had a derby in the championship. He's a Scottish winger. What do you guys think about him?
Technically gifted. He's got an attack mindset. Pushes the pace a lot. He's got a strong-ass left leg. I did not see him shoot at all with his right, but I mean...
He's only got a left.
Only
strong left,
but
I mean,
which kind of limits him. But I mean, good player.
Yeah, he's great at crossing.
Yeah.
Great getting behind the back line, whipping the ball back for someone else. He's a creator.
He is.
Yeah. And he can finish, but these are his highlights we were watching.
True.
Obviously, anybody's going to look great in their highlights, so you got to look at his whole career. He started at Dundee, did very well there, bounced around a bit, ended up at Derby, Premier League team, did not do well there.
Yeah.
In the championship, still in a great league. I mean, better than the MLS as far as soccer IQ goes. The players there, just their touch, their awareness, their knowledge is so much better. But last season, he only played about half the games. He got 1 goal. whether that was just from him, he was only coming off the bench, or if he started half the games, still 1 goal from a winger.
Yeah.
Not expecting a ton, but
in a position where Sporting KC is very productive there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Talking about, we've had a couple guys recently. Just last year, Shalawi, Durso, Latif, all have had multiple goal games.
Yeah.
That's already more than he had last year.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I hope his experience and his soccer IQ come with, obviously it's going to come with him to Sporting.
Yeah.
But I hope he doesn't come and then it's just like, you know what? I'm in the MLS because a lot of the there's guys bounce around the league and then they just end up back at a championship or a League 1, League 2 side, and then they just retire. Whatever.
Yeah.
They come here just because it's America.
Yeah, and they're the star player. They're the star player. Think about it. If you really look at it, a player played half the games for Derby coming in. He'll still be one of our better players and he'll be a star. But that could get to his head,
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't. I hope that he kind of amps it back up and he gets back at it and, back to the highlights we were watching where he's pinging balls in, scoring. He's just playing
First
really
touches,
well.
just making incredible runs.
Your touch, like a player like that, your touch doesn't go away.
No, that's
just
something you're gonna have.
Yeah.
Yep. Hopefully he'll pass medical and get the visa. Everything under control, and he'll be able to come here and start playing for us. Maybe come off the bench just to start to get used to life. It's a whole different
different pace of the game.
Yeah, different pace. He's dealing with MLS.
It's a whole different everything.
Yeah,
you just gotta adjust.
Different
huge
style.
adjustments.
But hopefully he can do that. But hopefully some other guys that can.
It's just like what we were saying earlier with the whole competition. Last podcast we said this one we're saying.
Yeah, that's true.
No, he's gonna push players like especially Shalawi and Durso. They're players who felt like their position was solidified. Now they see, we're bringing in someone from the championship.
Yeah.
Now
I gotta work my tail off.
Well, they had the competition last year because Latif was still here.
Yep.
But when Latif leaves, a guy like Durso last year didn't start every game. I know he got injured towards the end of the year, but even when he came back, he was healthy. Latif was still starting some games over, but gave him, when he would come in and play, he'd come in with a different intensity. He'd think that he needs a goal to, go on and do well. Hopefully, even if Russell doesn't come in and start right away, he pushes these guys to, feel like they need a goal or an assist or do something every game to keep a starting spot.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. All right, next we're going to move on to the homegrown players. The first player we're going to talk about, we'll start in the back, move up front, is Matt Lewis, defender.
Yeah. Him and Will Bagru, if he was at Fordham, teammates. Matt Lewis is at Fordham all 4 years, started every game. Again, it's huge. Coming in your freshman year and being in the right mentality to really put in all the effort and to really starting to really just pick things up. He was incredible there. He was his senior year. Was it like Atlantic 10 or whatever that conference is?
Yeah, I forget.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
huge.
Also, it's impressive physically.
Yeah.
Coming in as a freshman, you're 18 years old. You're playing against guys that are 21, 22 years.
Especially at center back.
Yeah, you're
especially
at
center back.
You're going up against these guys that are going to be up top and are
fifth-year seniors.
But physically, too, he's a big body, though.
Yeah.
He is.
6'2".
That helps him a lot, too. When you're tall,
Yeah.
Can't change that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Very true. So,
no, we haven't seen anybody get shorter.
that is true.
I haven't seen it happen yet. We'll stay open to the possibilities, I guess.
He was also teammates with Zach.
Yeah, he was.
Zach Wright, another one of the homegrown players.
Academy.
Yeah, the academy. Matt Lewis was a U18 captain. Huge, and then he was up for Sporting KC Male Player of the Year.
Which was pretty big.
Yeah, that's a big deal because that's across. You look at we had another homegrown, Gianluca Busio.
Yeah,
maybe not at that time,
No,
But still, there were a lot of good players across all ages at this time. You know,
That's true.
youth national team players. For him to win that, it's a big deal.
it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
I mean, don't know if we see him though going in right away.
No.
but
No.
Especially that
No.
center back position.
yeah, you got Ike Beasler, like we were
We're
saying the
loaded
other day.
there.
Yeah.
we just brought in a Moore, just got a
Yeah,
draft. This guy obviously. I mean, not obviously, but I'm guessing we signed him homegrown. He's going to be better than any player we draft.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
You sign somebody homegrown to protect them from being able to get
Yeah.
drafted.
Yeah.
So,
Probably won't see much of the field for a season.
guess in Swope Park,
Yeah.
But I mean,
might be on the bench.
Yeah.
Again, though, you don't see many center backs coming off the bench.
Just
in a
depends.
game.
Just
Yeah.
depends on who gets injured. Ike's
We
very
also have
injury
Ike,
prone.
Yeah.
I mean, Beasler
He's
had his
he's getting
fair
old,
share.
yeah. It's good to at least have him.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I mean,
If not, he just
Yeah.
brings another guy. But he'll hopefully develop with Swope Park this year.
Yep.
Sure.
And then maybe break him in the starting lineup. Maybe.
Yeah. A couple games on the bench.
Yeah.
Who knows what happens?
Maybe a CONCACAF Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Game against a USL team in Open Cup. Who knows?
Yeah.
You want to talk about the next guy, Jalen Lindsay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Another defender.
Probably more promising in his just what he's done so far. He's only 17.
He is. He's.
Yeah.
I think he just went with the youth national team,
Yeah.
right?
U17 youth national team.
Maybe a week or probably a month ago now.
Yeah.
But
He's made 25 appearances for him.
yeah, he's
That's a lot.
He's always
for a
there. If you,
U17
I mean, if
team.
you follow Sporting on Twitter or anything,
Yeah.
almost every time there's a youth national team, it's an alert about Jalen Lindsay,
Yeah. Well, and I mean, he's been with Slope for
He
nearly
has.
2 years now.
and he's
He's 15. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of promise. You know, hopefully lives up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks athletic, technically gifted.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he's another guy that high upside, but he's an outside back, so
hmm
I think there's a bigger chance of him coming in.
Yeah,
and actually,
absolutely.
Getting more playing time.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at it right now, Zusi, I think he's gonna have his role no matter what. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Graham Zusi. But on the other side, you have Seth, maybe
Jimmy.
Jimmy, I think started during the preseason game
Yeah.
at left back,
But
but
Kevin Ellis is out, or he's on his way out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like,
Got out.
I mean, there's not many guys.
Yeah.
He could be. the
And
guy
outside
that
backs
comes
are
in.
more likely to come on than center backs. So
Yeah. absolutely. He's been. Fun fact: he was the first American-born player born after the year 2000
to be signed, right?
to play,
Oh, to play.
to make an appearance. Yeah. Just a fun fact there.
Fun facts from Ian.
Should we move on to Zach Wright then?
Yeah.
Zach Wright out of UNC. Another homegrown player. I think he moved here, started playing with the academy.
It was senior year in 2014.
Yeah, junior,
Yeah.
senior year out of
13, 14.
high school.
He was U8 that team. He was on with Matt Lewis. U18 since he moved here. I think
Yeah.
that was his only year there.
And-
U18 he was academy top goal scorer.
Yeah, I remember that year. They went far, and maybe they won multiple tournaments.
Yeah.
They did
Yeah.
They did
very
well that
well.
year.
Yeah,
That was a
had a
good
really
team.
strong team.
My only concern with him, obviously, a lot of homegrown players need time to develop.
Yeah,
You sign them, like the point of it is so you sign them young, protect them, like you said, and then develop them through your club and through your, like a Swope Park type club
Yeah.
developmental team. But when he went to UNC, it's difficult for everybody to really get ready for a college career.
yeah.
He did well as a teammate, but not as a natural goal-scoring striker. He's a great player and shows a lot of potential, but 15 goals out of 61 games.
Yeah, as a striker, I mean,
As a striker, it's not
it's
terrible.
not awful,
No,
but it's not.
It's
It's
his athleticism is
Yeah.
great.
The other thing with these guys is they're young, homegrown guys, but they're also with they're coming out of college. They're not the Shallowees, the Jalen Lindsays, the Bucios. They're all, I mean, they're 22 years old now. How much time, I mean, you can develop, but you can bring in a 21, 22-year-old at this point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're bringing in guys that are 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, and they're showing just as much potential and just as...
Yeah.
I mean, it's got its up, it's got its down. Zach, I mean, he looks obviously more athletic.
He's built.
He's strong. He kind of resembles a Dom Dwyer when you watch him play.
That's probably a good place.
Fast, not fully technically as gifted as maybe smaller, like
our new signing Johan or even Johnny Russell, or and those are the players he's competing with too.
Yeah,
it's not like he's a great player. Went and played at UNC. Now it's for real. He's playing with professional players, top level. Maybe potentially another great Swope Park,
even with a Swope Park. But I mean, Swope Park has brought in great. I mean, they've got good players too. True. So it's like I mean, Swope Park's been competing to almost win the what is it, USL? Is that they're in?
The USL.
Championship for the last couple of years. It's going to be difficult for him. I mean, obviously, it's difficult for anybody coming up. Hopefully, his potential and his athleticism is, if he could get technically better gifted. I mean,
there's an upside. I mean,
there's an upside.
They didn't draft him. They at least wanted him. They got homegrown talent, so they're not just getting him to get him.
I think he has potential with his athleticism to move positions, to move around.
That's true.
We were talking about earlier.
I mean, you look at players like Gareth Bale, started as a left back. Now, right wing, left wing striker. He's
literally the opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
You
look at players who are athletic and maybe just hadn't found, I mean, he's had great coaches, obviously, but maybe they just never found his true position. Who doesn't love to play striker? It's a hard thing.
He doesn't love to score.
It's a hard thing to transition from.
Yeah, he's had great coaches, but then again, we're also looking at a college mindset, which is it's not going to be like he's playing with the academy.
Yeah.
So when you go to college and you do all this stuff, I mean, the coaches have one goal.
Yeah.
It's to win a championship. They don't care. I mean, they could say that they care. I know that they
don't care as much about the development.
It's not a development.
No. You're expected to be developed.
Yeah.
And if you're good enough, on your own, almost essentially, sure they do a lot of coaching and positional awareness and stuff like that. Just playing in a formation.
College is it's a different game. It's when you watch the quality of it, it's more. There's more athleticism. It's not as the more technically gifted players are, like we said earlier in this podcast.
They're already elsewhere.
They're already
going to college.
Yeah. So maybe we were talking about he could have a potential of. I mean, he's played striker his whole life. We were talking about moving positions. A winger, again, we've got multiple wings. Could he possibly, throughout his career, move to an outside back?
Yeah.
I mean, he's fast, he's strong.
It's a position that's contested right now, too.
Yeah.
Like we were just saying with Jalen Lindsay.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Zach moves back there and contests it even further.
I think Chance Myers was he played up top for Michigan when he was in
a lot.
college.
That happens a lot.
Moved back to and he's had a career of being an outside back in the MLS. Still playing.
But I'm very hopeful.
Yeah,
I hope for him. So
lastly, I want to talk about probably
the big one.
Gianluca Bucio, another. We think he's a winger. He could play either wing up top.
Because both foot strong.
Yeah,
he's right-footed. But we were watching his highlights. The kid can play.
Yeah. What did they say he was? Because he can shoot with anything.
He's 15.
Technically right.
Technically right, and I've seen him blast with the left foot. I mean,
some of the plays that he is doing, incredible.
He just controls everything.
Not just people may be able to do it. Like if you go off the field and we're all just kicking the ball around, somebody might be able to do it.
Yeah.
But to be able to think about doing some of these things in a game,
he's doing it in real time. He's not even thinking about it. He's just
he's got a different mindset. It's
he's next level.
There's not many people like that.
He's the second youngest player.
Yeah, he's another.
To be signed. Behind the one and only Freddie Adu, hero.
It's
me. Well, you look at his was it last season or 2 seasons ago, whatever, he played in one season. He played for the U14s, U16s, and U18s.
Which is very impressive.
Yeah. Like, sure, you could say, it's academy in the U.S., like, yeah,
but when you
still.
When you look at people that have played on these teams, I mean, you've had, like, the likes, like, a couple of years ago of a Cameron Carter-Vickers, guys that are overseas,
That's true.
a Miazga, all these guys are overseas with big clubs.
Yeah.
And when you got a young guy, 15 years old, playing 3 years up.
You know who else did that?
4 years up.
Cristiano Ronaldo. U14, 16s, 18s, same thing. I mean, maybe. Maybe.
Oh, we're calling it here.
That's you heard it here first.
Yeah. We're calling it.
But would he be? I would see him more as a Messi then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. His play style. I mean,
he's 5'7".
Oh.
I mean, he's not big. He's
not physically.
I don't think. Again, I don't think we're gonna see him much this year in the MLS.
No. You don't really need to.
Still, I mean,
he's like.
Well, he's not.
I hope they don't even play him.
Oh yeah,
because look at Freddie Dude. Yeah.
You come in.
You're
small.
14. First of all,
you're 15 years old. People don't. I mean, you've got a guy that came out of college 6 years ago. He's been playing, his career out of
playing against grown men.
Yeah, and this guy's mindset since no, not even that. This guy's mindset since he's been in college is, you go hard, you do all this stuff. Well, I'm talking about him. The guy he's coming up against. He's dribbling out against a right back.
Yeah.
Right back's, just going to kill him.
Yeah.
He's going to be like,
crunch him.
I mean, we played before.
Yeah.
I mean, when there's people doing small little things and stuff, you don't
crunch him.
Yeah. And with a guy like him, small guy, young guy.
They'll hate that.
Yeah,
they will.
Some guy will hit you right away.
15-year-old coming up against a 25, 26-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, like,
they're not going to want to get showed up.
You look at some players who've done it,
but
it's like Rooney. Like, granted, he's older now, and he's fallen off a bit, but he was incredible, and he was he was physically.
Well, he's also bigger.
Yeah, he was.
He was at 5'7", like 100 and what was it, 35?
Yeah.
I mean,
soaking wet.
Yeah, we don't even know. I mean, his hair probably weighs 5 pounds.
He's got nice hair.
I love it. I do love it.
But yeah, these guys that are coming up young are. I mean, even look at like Pulisic is like a different, and he's years older.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. He's a different level. Yeah. I would love to see him. I'd love to see Gianluca get in maybe some CONCACAF games. Get in some Open Cup games.
And then
just a little experience.
But Swope Park starter.
That's what I want to see, a Swope Park starter. But what I want to see him practice with the first team.
Yeah.
And then I hope to see him with the youth national team multiple more times this year.
Well, he was just with the U15s.
Yeah.
And he scored 5 goals in 5 games at their CONCACAF championship. I mean, that's impressive. That's a goal a game, as a winger.
And he comes in now preseason. First preseason game already happened. 2-1 win over Phoenix Victory.
Yep.
Or Phoenix Rising.
Yeah.
He scores a goal. He scores the winning goal. So, I mean...
It's one of those. I feel
it's different. You're playing against, Phoenix Rising again, not a MLS team.
They got Drogba.
At one point in time.
But I mean, it's not the same level. But he's scoring against people that have played, guys that have played college, guys that are older than him.
Yeah.
I mean,
the thing is,
doing well.
Thing is, obviously, you don't want to see a Freddie Adu situation where he's 14, he's the next greatest thing, and then he was awful because he was 14.
The only good thing about right now that I think is I don't think many more. I mean, people aren't thinking that much about him though, as much as
true.
There's other people. There's the Christian Pulisic's, the Kellen Acostas. All these people are looking at people already have people that are set.
Yeah,
he's young enough right now. I mean, obviously hasn't bursted into the first team. That people might not realize his potential.
Who he is,
unless you're a sporting fan.
Yeah.
He plays this year. I mean, Alphonso Davies was the guy last year in that MLS. I don't know if you guys remember. Played for Vancouver. Similar situation. Very young, 15, 16 years old. scored multiple goals, got called up to the Canadian national team, started to fall off just because, the hype. Wasn't able to, he couldn't play all the games too. I mean, it's a different level of physicalness. I mean, you're training every day. It's hard on a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can just watch him develop a couple years from now. I mean, not in a couple years, but a year or two.
I would love to see him starting at Swope, just to not only so we can see, but so everybody else can see what kind of impact he has on the game. Because if he's starting for Swope, and he's still doing what he's doing, like if he brings what he's doing to Swope, then it's like, okay, now the age doesn't matter. Come to Sporting because you have it. Same thing like what happened with Pulisic. Like was incredible. They're like, oh, he's too young, he's too small. Oh no, he's really good. He's got it. Love to see that with Busio, where they just give him almost a trial run at Swope. If he's 15, like. We can't put a lot of weight on him. So
the thing with Pulisic too, though, is Pulisic's gotten beaten up. I mean, he's still very young.
Yeah,
he's getting beaten up right now. He's missed multiple games.
Yeah,
and we don't want him to be injured and burn out. But at the same time, we do want to see his potential. I want to see him play. I mean, obviously, when you have a player of great talent, you don't play.
And the thing is, like, even if he's here and he needs 3 years to develop, 3 seasons is a long time. He's still only 18. Like, that's incredible if he can stay here.
Which is very young. You don't see many 18-year-olds out there.
No, I mean, we're talking about homegrown players who are coming out of college.
Yeah, and the people drafted. These guys are 21, 22 years old. I mean, basically
7 years younger.
15.
15
years old.
It's a grown man compared
What
to...
were you doing at 15?
Can you even drive a car?
I think 15 is the year that you can drive the car.
I'm still driving him to practice. Ooh. I mean...
I mean...
Let's hope.
I didn't do anything at 15, so good on you.
Got a lot of upside, though. So
hopefully we see him with... Again, the youth national team. Which
that'd be a big one.
Should we transition then into another national team? Big
news? First, I wanted to just touch on past homegrown players.
Oh, yeah.
Since we're talking about homegrown players now, we've only had 5 homegrown players in the past. And they have all turned out to be good homegrown players, whether they were great or not. We had Kevin Ellis, Eric Palmer-Brown, Shallowy, and Kempin. So I guess 4, because Busio was one, because technically he was signed 2 years ago. But you look at all 4 of them. Kempin, played some games, broke the starting line a bit, moved to LA. Wasn't the best, but he was solid. He was a solid backup. Shallowy already proven himself last season.
And then EPB.
EPB, I mean, offers from Juve. He went to Porto. He's linked to City. He's arguably one of the best homegrown players, or one of the best players we've had, just based on his potential. And then
Kevin Ellis was a great role player forever. I mean, played multiple positions. He was
center back, fullback.
Yeah, he's a good player. I mean, again, he's not the quality of like Eric Palmer-Brown or
I feel like for the most of his career, obviously the last 2 seasons maybe,
he's had his troubles.
He was getting frustrated, but for the most of his career, he accepted the role he was in too.
He was solid.
He scored goals.
Like, he was a good backup.
He's not a big center back.
No.
I think Sporting's academy is,
producing good players.
Probably one of the best academies in the United States. I mean, there's very few that you see at other guys. I mean, Chicago Fire's academy was, the rivals, but they're older. I mean, they've obviously... not older, but they've had, like, their academy's been known for longer. They've had, like, the Chicago Sockers, the Chicago Magic, all these people. I mean, people like Michael Bradley grew up in Chicago playing. But Kansas City, when you look at it, it's not the biggest market out there.
No.
So we're not in one of the biggest cities, but we're producing.
We're turning into the heart of soccer.
The soccer capital
Think
of
about
America. We were just named best soccer-specific stadium in the country. Just got the U.S. training facility. And
U.S. training facility. Had another training facility built. Had that one 10 years ago now built. They're building another $15 million park.
And remember, this is in a smaller market.
3 world-class facilities to play at.
I mean,
national training facility.
And it's
exciting.
showing.
It's showing.
Yeah.
It's showing with our
Okay.
academy.
Talent.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's a city.
Yeah. All right.
Do you want to move on then?
Yeah.
To Ike Opara?
We like Ike.
What can we say? Great debut.
Oh,
yeah.
As expected.
I'd say,
I mean,
yeah,
could have been the best player on the field.
yeah,
Absolutely.
easily.
Some of those tackles he made in that game.
Tackle. He made
Game-saving
Yeah.
tackles.
Yeah, 2
And he's the
tackles.
most efficient player.
One of them, game-saving tackles, had me worried for a little. He
Yeah,
goes down, starts cramping up. I thought.
Luckily, it's
I
just a
thought it-
cramp.
yeah, it could have been
It's like,
worse.
oh my god,
I think-
already.
I think every sporting fan
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like,
Sucking
they're-
their
yeah.
teeth, Phil.
Yeah, I got very close to crying. Then he got up.
He got up, played the rest of the game.
Great game.
Oh yeah.
Great game. I mean,
Yeah.
finally he's healthy. I think
Yeah.
he's always been sort of a fringe U.S. player
Yeah.
where like, oh, he's playing really well. There goes the ACL. You know, like, oh, here he comes back.
I
Did it
think
again. You know, like,
I think last year he should have had his chance in the
Should-
World Cup qualifying.
I think so, too.
especially the way the U.S. team played last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he would have
Don't
made
need to
that
talk
game.
about that.
We
but-
don't. I think. I mean, you play him instead of a Nomar Gonzalez, we could be in the World Cup right now.
Yeah.
I mean, but throw that aside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about his actual performance.
I mean, he looked like he belonged. There's
Yeah.
a lot of guys out there that kind of look lost doing stuff. For
Mhm.
somebody that hasn't played, I mean, he played on the youth national team. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Finally got his chance. He's out there. I mean, great passes out the back. I mean, defending well.
Just look natural.
Yeah,
like
just
with
look
the
like-
team, and that's big because especially if your debut, obviously you want to do well and all this stuff.
Yeah, you're nervous.
But if
yeah.
you haven't even had a sniff at playing with the other players, you know, you're training together.
Yeah, there's nobody
You're
on the
not
team
playing.
that he
You have no
Yeah.
clue how this other guy right next to you is gonna play. You know, you
Like,
Even-
like in a game
even behind
environment,
you.
you can.
I mean,
you,
there's different styles. I mean, if
especially
you
when
want,
you're used to something.
he's used to Beasler on his left, Melia behind him,
Behind him, yeah.
Zusi to his right.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at that, I mean, I know we're talking about the national team, but Zusi, Beasler, both have started for the national team since the last
Sure.
World Cup. Melia,
Should.
keeper of the year last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was playing beside Zimmerman.
Who?
It's questionable. I think Zimmerman, I don't remember. I think, if I'm right, he's the one that had like an accident or something happen to him last year. Recovered. But he went from Bill Hamid to Zach Stefan. He's played with, I mean, multiple people are subbing around him.
Yeah.
He's never played with any of these guys except for during the January
Not to
camp.
mention,
And he plays so well.
playing against a good team
Yeah,
in Bosnia
Bosnia.
and Herzegovina.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're not going to bring their star players in the middle of this season. I don't know why this friendly was played, you know, but like they're not going to bring the Jekos, the Pjanic, and like they're not going to bring those players. But the players on the field
They were so
play
good.
with them.
Yeah.
They play with world class players. Juve starting mid, Pjanic, Dzeko's been all over, always scoring.
You got a Begovic. You got Bosnia is. I mean, they're a serious team. Even their second and third level people are still going to be.
And they are hard.
Yeah.
They are nails. They are tough people. Like,
And we saw that right, in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, some guy almost ripped Jordan Moore's jersey right off his chest.
just ready to go.
But yeah, hopefully we could see Ike throughout the year. I don't know how many more games the United States are going to play. No World Cup.
Yeah.
Obviously not going to be.
They were talking about doing a,
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
for,
not- like-
Netherlands.
yeah, like all the
US,
teams who didn't make the World
Italy,
Cup doing
yeah.
a separate tournament. Like,
I don't know.
it'd be kind of sad to
Yeah.
watch. Like,
That would
even
be-
the players would be like,
And
this isn't even close.
It's the losers bracket.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
do we really want that? I mean, I like to see Ike play.
Like,
but,
oh, hey, I
yeah.
won the losers bracket.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Oh.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So, I mean,
And, I mean, with the World Cup, you're already dealing with clubs don't like letting players go play national.
Yeah.
National
Yeah.
team.
You talk about letting them go play.
So
for
go play a
something.
loser bracket game.
Yeah.
If you're going to play a loser bracket game, how many of the first team players are
you really want to send out there.
actually going to be going?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're looking at like in Italy or Netherlands, they're not going to be sending their top. They're not going to be sending like a Verratti. PSG's not going to let them send it
they're
to
not
a...
Yeah, clubs
If
will
I was-
not
They'll be
If I
like
was Sporting, I wouldn't want Ike to
Ike,
go.
you're not
Especially how
especially,
especially
yeah.
Well, especially considering that'd be the middle of our season.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
The middle of the
we have a
sporting
tiny
season.
break, don't we?
Yes.
Unless
There's
it's
such
a
a
tiny
downside,
break.
yes.
I don't think it's like a...
No.
So much.
Yeah.
There's such a downside for us if that happens.
And that's why I don't think it'll ever go through. I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause, like 2014 when we had the World Cup, clubs were signing their players because it's the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
you
even,
were expected if you could make it.
even during the World Cup, though, you know that those managers and owners of the big teams are still looking at every game, as like Portugal's playing, Real Madrid, they're looking at it like, if Ronaldo gets hurt during this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look what happened to Neymar.
Yeah, Neymar
Broke his back. Was out for a long while.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Ike, hopefully we see him in a couple friendlies. I don't see anything else really this year.
Good performance though for him.
No.
Yeah.
Great start. That's pretty well.
That's true.
And that's about it.
I think that is about it.
Yeah,
Episode 2 of BlueHellTV. Make sure you guys like, subscribe,
Comment.
Yep.
Seamus here again with Ian, Christian, Austin, and we'll see you guys next time.
That's it.